When I look at this 2024 election, I think I'm in agreement with a lot of what other people here on YouTube and social media and even some various notable news outlets have been saying. And that is, at the end of the day, depending on the results in November, that the losing party in their nominees, for them, 2024 is going to be looked at as a year of auditioning. And what I mean by that is basically whoever doesn't, become, the winner, basically is going to be sworn in January. That individual and their party are going to have the next 3 to 4 years to plan out exactly how they try to succeed where they failed. And it's going to be certain people in those nominations that will be doing just that. For example, if DT, and we all know who DT is, Trump, if he and Vance do not win, then you know that Vance, not Trump, because despite how you feel about him, he does have some sense, at least left in that mind of his to realize, hey, I'm getting older and this is not, the game for me to play anymore. So he's going to, in my opinion, step away. But what that will do is open the door for Vance. That's why he chose him, in my opinion, not just because of everything he said about this man and this man's background and everything, and the fact that there's a movie based on said life of Vance, if you will. But he did it because he knows that if, there's a repeat from 4 years ago, then, well, at least he has somebody that he can train, who he can, overshadow, basically, teach, if you will, and mentor to be, the guy that runs, confidently in 2028. So I believe that if Trump and Vance don't win, then it's going to be Vance that's going to take this loss, learn from it, take everything, DT has taught him and others have taught him, and use that to basically, try to succeed where they failed. Excuse me there. And the same can be said for the Democratic side of things with Kamala and Walz, but mostly Kamala. Because Walz is getting up there in age too, so I don't think she'll want to go back to him as a running mate. But Kamala, the way things have worked out with her, despite how you feel about it, basically this is also a situation to where at the end of the day, if she's not the one that gets, sworn in January, she's not the one that makes history, as the first woman president of ethnic color and, race and ethnic color and gender and whatever. I say that with all due respect, no offense. If she doesn't, succeed at doing that, then for her, this too will be an audition. Because just like I said with Vance, what she'll do is she'll take the mistakes that she made in this year's campaign, as short-lived as it was, and she is going to basically take those mistakes, learn from them, and try to apply it to succeeding in 2028. Now, this all depends on the end result in November. That's what it depends on. Because you can't sit here and tell me that the losing party is not going to have pretty much have their plans in motion, right after the election this year, because they will. I mean, if there's anything, the Republican Party, the Independent Party, the Green Party, whatever you want to call them, have learned is always make sure to start planning years in advance for the next election. And that's what they've been doing. This year, it may not seem like that, but guess what? It's obvious that there was some planning on both ends. It's just that what happened kind of derailed a lot of those plans into directions that were not planned. Let's be honest. And I think what will happen here is the defeated party will basically, start planning I wouldn't say the day after, but I'd say the week after, and start really planning and figuring out, okay, if for the Democrats, if it's not their time, for the next 4 years, they're going to be like, okay, Kamala, we know you're going to want to try again a third time's the charm, if you will, in 2028. So here's what we got to do. You can't tell me they won't start planning. You can't tell me that Kamala won't start planning at that time, after the election is over. She's not going to wait till Inauguration Day. No. She's going to immediately start planning the week, if not days after the election. And the same goes for Vance. Vance and the Trump team are going to start planning for his ascension, hopefully in 2028, if that comes to be. Now the question is, who would their running mates be? Well, I think with Vance, his running mate is going to be very obvious, in my opinion. I think it's going to be the person that dropped out of the Republican race before DT got the overall nomination, and that's Hale. I think Nikki Hale will be Vance's running mate. That's what I believe. As far as Harris goes, well, I think she's going to choose somebody that's going to surprise a lot of people, and I think who she'll choose is the other person that's going to try to run for the Democratic nomination, and that's Newsom. That's right. So I think Kamala Harris, if she don't succeed, again, like I said, she, and even the same goes for Vance on the Republican side, they're going to start planning not a week, well, maybe a week after, but a week after at the latest, if not immediately days after the election, they're going to start planning for the bid in 2028. And part of that planning is focusing on who they're going to choose, as their running mates. And I guarantee you, Vance is going to look at Hale, and Harris is going to look at Newsom. And that's a fact. They may not like each other and everything, but hey, if it gets one closer to the presidency more than they've ever been, they'll go for it. So to me, when you really sit down and you think about it, this year is a very important election. There is no doubt about it. There's no doubt about that. It's a very important election as far as policies and everything go, agendas, you name it. It's very important. But what we also have to realize is, despite its importance, it's also, for the losing side, it is a year of auditioning. It is going to be looked at as the election year of auditioning for whoever doesn't win the votes, the overall votes in November. And that's a fact. That is the truth. And everybody here on social media, here on YouTube, and all the major news media outlets have all pretty much said the same thing. It is an auditioning year for whoever, does not win. Because what they're going to do, like I said, is they're going to take the mistakes they made, those failures that they made, and they're going to learn from them. And as far as the Republican Party goes, it's not going to be an audition for a third attempt by Trump, no, in 2028, no. It's going to be an audition for Vance, and he's going to take the mistakes and failures that occurred to their party, learn from them, listen to Trump, despite whether or not he does get along with him. And he's going to take everything, that failed for them this year, the mistakes they made this year, and he's going to apply it to his bid in 2028. And he's already going to have somebody in mind to be his running mate, and that's going to be Hale. It's going to be Nikki Hale. Now I can't say because we don't know what's going to happen in the next few years, but you get the idea. And as far as the Democratic side goes, if they don't get it, this is going to be looked at as a auditioning year for Harris. And I think when she comes back in 2028 to try to do it again, she's going to choose a running mate in Newsom. That's right, Newsom, despite him probably being a little bit more popular, he has yet to run. He's yet to run for president. He had his chance this year, didn't take it. 2028 is going to be his year that he does it. But I don't think, despite his popularity, he's going to win. Because Harris, I think, will outbid him in the popularity poll and the historic poll, if you catch my drift. But I think I think basically the silver lining for him, the constellation prize for him, is he's going to be her running mate. I think that's what's going to happen. But that's just my thoughts on it. Let me know what you guys think. Do you agree that at the end of the day, no matter who wins, that for the losing side, it's just an auditioning to, learn from, and take what didn't work and learn from it and everything going into 2028? Let me know. Comment below. Love to hear your thoughts on all of this. Click the video. Click the bell for notifications. Like the video. Subscribe to the channel. Also, click on the link in my to my Teespring store in the description area, as well as the links to where you can find my content elsewhere here on the internet. But guys, let me know what your thoughts are. Love to hear what you have to say about this. And until then, I am out.